Claude code deletes companies' entire database. Huh, do you know who else deletes entire databases? My old mate Gerald, after about 8 pints. Picture this, 30 years ago, we're having a night out and I casually mentioned that my Windows 98 PC is suffering performance issues. Gerald, being a kind old soul, offers to pop into mine on the way home to see what he can do. Fast forward a few hours, a few mouse clicks and an unmounted virtual drive, and I've lost about a year's worth of data, including loads of photos of my old band. Now, I don't blame Gerald for that. It was my fault for giving him access to the database after he'd had 8 pints. And I learnt a really important lesson that night, not just about the importance of a good backup and restore posture. And that lesson was, don't give Gerald, after he's had about 8 pints, access to your database. And that proved to be a really useful lesson for the next 15 years of my career. And as time went on, I started thinking, oh, I wouldn't give her access to the database after a night out. I wouldn't give him access to the database, 8 pints or no. Maybe no one should have access to the database. And that's when DevOps started becoming a thing. Access should be through deterministic processes and systems which we can build guardrails around. The whole team could take responsibility for ensuring that nothing bad happens to the database because everything was in code and you could tell exactly what was going to happen in advance. And that's been the way we've done things for the last 15 years. That's been sensible. So when I hear of these companies that have had their databases deleted by a coding agent, I think, haven't they met Gerald? Don't they have their own Gerald? How have they got this far without realizing that people ought not to access the database themselves? So I don't blame Claude Code for this. I don't even blame the person who was running Claude Code. I blame the whole system, the whole set of processes that weren't there, the ones that were meant to protect the database. Because if you do give an agent unfiltered access to your database, it's a bit like going out to your nearest pub, finding your local Gerald and giving him your house keys and tell him to do his best or his worst, depending on your perspective. So I always think of my old mate Gerald when I hear headlines like,